Good evening, Shubh Sandhya, Namaskar. To begin with, I have two confessions to make. First. The second is more dangerous, so I will start with a mild one. First confession is that this happens to be my first convocation. I have never been in a convocation before, not upstage, not downstage. In my times, state universities, when I was doing engineering, when I passed out, I did my graduation in metallurgical engineering. So when we passed out, the universities used to hold convocations like Olympics, once in 4 years. And if you happen to know about this, come to know about this from the newspapers, then maybe you can try to get there. I have a partner in crime right here in the front row. Your Guru Mata or Aditi, Professor Chatterjee's wife, happens to be a batchmate from those days, engineering college days. So she knows all my pain, and she knows that I am speaking the truth when I say this is my first convocation. Thank you, Professor Chatterjee, for giving me the opportunity. I am really indebted that I am here. For how many of you this is the first convocation? You mean to say you did not do graduation and directly jump to post-graduation? Your college was just as lenient as mine. It allowed you to pass through without giving you a convocation, and IMK was gracious enough to offer you admission. Nice. Thank you. Congratulations. So that sums up the first confession, but the second confession is more dangerous, as I said. And the second confession is I just do not have a speech. When Professor Chatterjee sent me a message inviting me and saying this is going to be a convocation, and convocation is a big word to me. Believe me, trust me, it is a big word. I join with all of you who raised their hand when I said for whom this is the first convocation. For me also it was the first convocation. So convocation is a big deal for me. But I just don't have a speech. Don't ask me why. But ask your professor of strategy. I don't know what Sharma Sahab has been teaching you. What is the best strategy when you don't have a speech, or you are handicapped and you don't have the right tools to do your job? Anybody? Beg, borrow, steal. That's the best strategy that you can find in this world. Ask the professor's strategy. He will never teach you in the class, but let me tell you, when you get to life, when you don't have something, the first strategy is beg. I have a colleague here, Neelu Madhav Padhi. I begged him to write a speech for me. Ask him, and I'm not lying. I actually begged him to write a speech for me. You know the answer he comes up with? He says, in last 10 months, I have written at least 15 speeches for you. And each time you have gone on stage, ignored my speech and talked about something else. So imagine my plight when he said, no longer. You don't have a speech. You don't get a speech. The next strategy, of course, is borrow. Picked up your Professor Chatterjee's latest book, Leadership. On leadership, went through it. I had a 3-hour flight flying over from Delhi to Kozhikode last night. Went through it. It talks about all about whatever he's read out in his director's report. It taught me all about IMK and how it's doing great. And I'm really proud going through that book. I was really proud to see an institute which came into being 1996, and to say 27, 28 years is truly a very little time in an institution of this depth and institution of this size to come to fruition. What you have achieved, and I'm sure such institutions are not built by one person, or such institutions are not built by one batch or 2 batches of people. A lot of blood and sweat and thought goes into such institutions. I really must take the opportunity to salute and thank all of those who have contributed to the institute gaining the grounds that it has gained today, being in national rankings, being in international rankings. A big congratulations to all the faculty, staff, and students of IMK. So, not much to borrow, not much to put into my speech as I see. So the last strategy is steal, right? I was hoping Geetika would land here in IMK last night, and probably today morning I can steal her speech somewhere, leaving her high and dry with this. But then, I don't know whether it was taught in your class, but these FMCG people are very guarded about their trade secrets. Forget about the she won't even tell me the secret of Nivea and why it is so successful, why it is so smooth on your skin. Professor Chatterjee, I think you agree. Me and Professor Chatterjee actually were grilling her for last half an hour trying to find out what makes Nivea so smooth. And she just won't divulge it. So no question of giving me a speech, stolen speech. So anyhow, finally the story is that I end up with no speech, so I'll speak from my heart. I hope you will appreciate that. The first rule, rather the golden rule of being in business, you are all passing out, and Geetika was telling me that on the day of passing, I was asking her because she had had the chance earlier. She had a convocation earlier in IMA. So I was asking her, how were you feeling when you were in the convocation and on that day? And she said there was an apprehension, there was a trepidation in her mind on what the future is going to hold. She has got a job, okay, we will get into a job, and what will happen going further. I'm sure probably similar questions are there in your mind. So I'll just try to recount my experiences on what has come to my mind and how I have gone through it. One condition before I start on this. See, I'm speaking extempore, so one condition. Whenever I say something funny, you have to laugh. Agreed? Commitment. I'll raise my hand, don't worry. I'll raise my hand whenever I say something funny, so you will know I have said something funny and you have to laugh. Great. Once you are in agreement, the first thing that I start with, in life, often in your course and during your classes here and in the industry, you have talked about leadership. What does leadership look like? You have lots of definitions. In the coursework, I'm sure there will be lots of examples. I believe case study is the mode of study here, case study based driven. So you will have multiple role models, examples, case studies, how leadership is done, everything happens. To me, leadership, I'll try to explain or rather proffer an explanation through a very simple example. What does a leader do? Look to your left, all the students, look at the left and look at all the parents sitting here. You know the fact that you are graduating today in your city, wherever you come from in this country, in the world, wherever you come from, you know the वहाँ का धोबी, आपका माली, सबको पता है कि you are graduating today. Do you realize that? Am I right? आपके सिटी में सबको पता है कि the son or the daughter is graduating today. Look at those PR people. They can do a better PR job than any PR manager that you will ever hire. They are so happy. They are so proud. You know, probably many of them did not sleep for 2 nights when you got into IIM. Many of those would have had sleepless nights while you are graduating. जितनी मिठाइयाँ उन्होंने बांटी होंगी आपके शहर में, मिठाई की दुकान में मिठाई कम पड़ जाएगी. And why? They are not the ones who are getting a degree today. They are not the ones who have got a job offer and looking forward to getting into corporate world and getting into a world where you will have a great time and you will demonstrate to the world what you are made of. They are not the ones. Still, they are the happiest and most proud people in the world today. To me, that is leadership. Remember, when you get into a workplace, आप अपने assignment पे जाएंगे, you get into a workplace, you are handed over a job, you have got a team, right? You have got a team and you will be leading a team into something, some project, something is happening. Tell me, will you remember to celebrate and smile your team's success and not your success? ये सारे बेगानी शादी में अब्दुल्ला दीवाने, इनको किसी को डिग्री नहीं मिलने वाली है, किसी को कोई नौकरी नहीं मिल रही है, but still they are the proudest, they are the happiest. That's what the leader does. It celebrates the success of the team. It feels happy for what the team gets, the achievements of the team. That, to me, is one of the golden lessons that I have learned in life. If you can hold hands, if you can really credit your team, if you can really feel happy about what they are happy with, that's the time when you will be a true leader. Respect is neither demanded nor commanded. Respect is earned. You need to earn it through your the way you operate, the way you learn. The next thing that you will probably face as soon as you get into your jobs and your life, you will face is, you will realize suddenly, again, Geetika comes to mind. I asked her, did you have a boss before? And she said no. She passed out of SRCC, directly walked into IMA. And so she had no idea कि दुनिया में एक devil होता है, इसका नाम होता है boss. आप लोगों को पता है? Some of you who have had experience know. और ये boss जो है बड़ा psychopathic character होता है. Boss का काम होता है आपकी जिंदगी तबाह करना. He is there just to make sure that you realize that you are the most worthless person in the world who has come and joined the organization. But when you get into your workplace, that boss, whatever he demands, how he demands, what he wants, how do you deal with your boss? One thing that you have to give your boss credit for is if he is your boss, then he must have stuck in the organization for a longer period than you have come to the organization, right? तो आपसे ज़्यादा बोर हुआ होता है, उसको ज़िंदगी में ज़्यादा बोरियत फेस करनी पड़ी है, तो ऐसे गुस्से में होता है, कोई और मिले जिसको मैं सेम बोरियत दिखाऊं. Professor Chatterjee said, as he said, I have had a large career. I have never changed jobs in life. So 32 years now in the same job. I have changed bosses, but never changed jobs. So when you get into this, remember, people who have been there, even if they are senior to you, they are your bosses or they may be your subordinates. One thing you have to respect is, they have been there in the organization, there in the system, earlier than you. So that just by pure virtue of them having spent some time there, they must understand that organization better than you on your first day. You must respect them for that and try to learn from that. You should not look at who is senior to you, who is how big, who has what kind of reputation. It does not matter. The first lesson when I joined my job, and I worked in a steel plant, so on a shop floor directly when I went there, I learned from a Khalasi who was the lowest category. Kamal knows here what happens in a steel plant. So who handles? So you have a kind of 20,000 kg weight steel rope, long 40-meter steel rope, which a person handles in order to lift something. And the first day I was on the job and a person was handling it and trying to do this, and I felt that as an engineer, a fresh young engineer with a great mind, I had the temerity of trying to guide him into how to handle this. The person looked at me, smiled, very softly smiled, and said, "Sir, मैं 30 साल से यही काम कर रहा हूँ. Please don't try to teach me how to do this." That day I actually learned that there are certain things that you have to respect. Somebody has been doing something you have to respect. But at the same time, the second thing that you have to promise yourself is, the other person may have learned whatever he is doing in 30 years. But I will probably take 30 days or 3 months or 3 years to learn the same skill and get up to that level. This promise you have to make to yourself if you really want to contribute, to that organization, that society, contribute to the nation. The young generation, the new generations are always smarter than the previous generation. We tend to say the new generation is very fickle, you change your mind very often, you don't know what you want in the world, and I don't believe so. The new generation is always smarter than the previous generation, because my father, my parents had exactly the same complaint against us, saying this generation is very fickle, they don't understand, they don't have values, they don't have patience, they want to move fast always. So let this litany continue, but what I can promise you is, you are smarter than the previous generation, and the world is looking forward to having you in the workforce. You need to be sure of that and promise to yourself and promise to the world that you will deliver more than my generation has delivered. Because if you don't, then you would have failed the world. Then in that case, it is obligatory on you, and you would have not lived up to the promise. So commit yourself to being better than whatever the world is today. This commitment, this conviction in you is the only mantra of success. In my experience, I'll say lots of times we read in the books, there are leadership books, there are many books which say mantras of success or golden rules of success. I find that in life there is no single golden rule of success. There are no golden rules of success. You need to be committed, you need to be convinced, and you need to go ahead and do what you actually want with conviction. That will make you successful for sure. While pursuing success, often we talk about happiness, fun. I'll give you an example. Last week, Saturday, I was with a team of young managers in my company. I was trying to talk to them, generally interacting, trying to understand from them what they want and what they want. 1 hour session, half an hour, everybody says, sir, we should sell like this. Sir, we should get into a new channel of marketing. Sir, my customers are like this. I need to profile my customers. Great thoughts, and I'm thinking, what has happened to this generation? How boring are they? They cannot even come up with a counter to what we are doing and say whatever you are doing is pure bakwas. The world has changed, and we are here, and we will show you a new way of doing business. After half an hour, after waiting for half an hour, a girl suddenly raised her hand. And they said, don't you think, all of you, you have worked, you have brought the company this far, but don't you think you people are, and then she stopped. Exactly like Professor Chatterjee looking for a word. I prompted her, boring, and said, yes, you people, all you old people, the way you have organized your workflows, don't you think it is quite boring? On the spot, Paddy is a witness. So what we did was, in that organization, what we decided, and we are quite a large organization, 57,000 people work for us currently. So we said, let us have 20 young managers. Young will mean less than 35 years of age and less than 10 years of service in this organization, in my organization, Steel Authority of India. Put them in a room and put them under lock and key. We will not open it till they explain to us what fun means at work, and till we have promised that whatever they tell us is fun at work. We have adopted that in our organization. So be sure to point out to your managers, point out to your boss, point out to the older generation what you really want. Discuss amongst yourself. When we talk about strategy, often what we do is we go with the old template of strategy. Be open to communicating your thoughts. Be an iconoclast. There are no golden rules, trust me. Nobody has come up with a final word on management or final word on business or final word on what success looks like. Every generation will define its own success. Be prepared for that. One of the qualities that you will want to acquire while you grow in your career and go ahead will be a way to understand and a way to kind of judge, be a good judge of character. Be a good judge of any situation, in a situation, how to operate. I'll give you an example. This whole convocation program today here in this lush, verdant campus. I was asking Professor Chatterjee in the morning whether he imposes luxury tax on your hostels or not. I don't know. You are living in practically a resort and rather than a college. Does he? No luxury tax? Okay, I'll make sure that I get back to Delhi and report it to the income tax government, in the government of India. I need to report this. So in this, everything is so thoughtfully done. Everything, the single kurta, this kurta and angavastram to everything, such coordinated dressing. The Bollywood will be envious of what is happening here today. I'll make sure of that. So all of this is organized so thoughtfully. Who is directing it? Is there a single person who has been able to direct this, who has written the script and everything happens accordingly? I don't believe so. A single person sets the tone. But after that, you will find that people take up, once the spirit is built up, once the energy is built up, after that people take up their roles and actually strive to achieve success. Everybody works towards making the program a success. Now I'm trying to crack a joke, so I'll raise my hand at the end of the joke. So much thoughtfulness had gone into this program that the room number which has been allotted to me here in the campus. Any guesses? Louder. Yes. Who is the gentleman? So my old friend Aditi decided that she knows me better than, she knows me for last 30 years, and she decided to allot me a room number 420 exactly. Thank you, Aditi. I really appreciate that. You really judged me in college itself. That was a joke, by the way. So all this thoughtfulness, all this is, trust me, people say that we have great planners. I can have a great planner, or I can have a great organizer. And everything, he will organize everything. He will get into micromanagement and everything will get done. I'm sorry. Murphy's law says that if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. So whatever amount of planning you put into any project, whatever amount of strategy, planning, everything, rehearsals, iterations that you can do, Murphy will make sure that if something can go wrong, will go wrong. That is exactly the moment when you need leadership of the masses. When you don't lead by designations. When you are no longer a chairman or a managing director, you don't look up to a chairman or a managing director or a director or a chief general manager to guide. No. At that moment, it is exactly at that moment where mass leads, where the spirit of the people, of the whole organism starts leading. And that, to me, is the only key to success. To end my so-called speech, which I don't have, I'd just like to give you, tell you something. This is an internet age and most of the things are known. As you are stepping out into your careers, going into life and going forward, remember one thing. One of the virtues that I believe truly leads to success is resilience. You are a lucky generation. I believe you spent 22 to 24 all in campus, right? You were in campus throughout your course. Imagine the previous generation, probably 2022, probably, I don't know, any of them could see the campus at all? Most of it was online. 20 to 22 practically was online and they could not even see this. I don't know how many of you remember during that time, during the COVID time. There were people out there, there were doctors out there who, in spite of most of us were locked down in isolation, in this, and who were going around actually treating patients, being at risk themselves of catching COVID. Nobody knew how it spreads, nobody knew how much it will spread. But they're out there working. And today, we have forgotten what happened to them. Most of us have forgotten and most of us don't realize what was the time like. But to learn from that, come out of that, and again be laughing and again be looking forward to life is what I call resilience. You have to have that kind of resilience in you in order to truly navigate this world. In this, one thing can be helpful. I feel one tip that I would like to give you through an example. I don't know, you can see it probably on the screen. You know what it is? Can you see this on the screen? Oh no, they can't. So there's a 500 rupees note, Indian currency note. The value is 500 rupees. It holds a lot of value? Yes, no? If somebody offered it to you, you'll take it or no? Yes, you will take it. What happens if I just fold this currency note, crush it in my hand? What is this? A 500 rupee note. What is the value of this? 500 rupees. Do you want it? You still want it. Let me throw it down on the floor. Trample it. Pick it up again. I picked it up again. What is this? A 500 rupee note. What is the value of this? Same 500 rupees. You still want it? Our life is like that. Your career is going to be like that. In your life, in your career, as you go along, there will be times when you will be crumpled. People will crumple you. Maybe your boss will give you a banging. You will feel crumpled. Life will push you down on the floor and maybe trample over you. Still, remember, you are what? A 500 rupee note. When other people crumple you, when you are thrown down on the ground, you are trampled, does not mean the value, your value grows any less. You are still the same 500 rupee note. Have this conviction in mind. As long as you have conviction, as long as you have resilience, as long as you want to become leaders like them, the only golden mantra of success is that. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you for making my first convocation so memorable. Thank you.